John Dooley,
Here.
Gary Bailey,
Here.
Deborah Potter,
Here.
Kevin Whipple.
Here.
Approval of the agenda.
I make a motion we approve the agenda as submitted. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes from the last meeting? If so, if no corrections are needed,
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes as published.
I'll second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
John, financial report.
And financial report for Greensburg Municipal Airport. Our airport improvement account, $196,871.72. Aviation rotary fuel, $178,880.86. Airport operations, $173,243.55. Total of all four accounts, $548,995.63.
Okay. Upcoming construction, Mr. Feister.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Got a few action items on the agenda tonight from VFNS. They are all pretty procedural though, so it should be pretty straightforward. First one is the annual federal financial report. This is a required report from the FAA that summarizes the open grants that you have with the FAA, and it just summarizes the cumulative federal cash disbursements on the open grants. So just requires a bill signature on the front sheet, and it tallies the grants that are open with the airport currently. So Andrew's prepared that. There's really not much to discuss on that one. It's just reporting. So I'm looking for board action to approve the annual federal financial report for open grants for submittal to the FAA.
I move we approve this report, have Bill sign it, and approve the report to the FAA.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved.
All right, great. So the next one is a grant application for the final phase of land reimbursement from the runway project. It uses a portion of your MPE funds, which is the $150,000 federal entitlement funds that come to the airport every fiscal year. Since it is a reimbursement, we do not have to do the pre-application part. We can go straight to the application, and we've already put in the request to the FAA to get the grant issued as soon as checkbooks are loaded, since it's a reimbursement. So the total for the final piece of land reimbursement is $72,777. And that is for the Steve Lowe navigation easement, the Robbins and Dickman navigation easements on the south end. So looking for board action to approve fiscal year 25 MPE grant application for land acquisition reimbursement.
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2025 MPE grant application for land acquisition.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved.
All right, fantastic. The next action item is another grant application that uses the balance of your MPE funds towards the C2 apron project. This is another one that's, again, a reimbursement, so there's really no delay in us putting together an application and submitting it to the FAA for funding. So because you get $150,000 in MPE funding a year, this one is going to fund $81,287.37 for the apron project. So this one is board action to approve fiscal year 25 MPE grant application for the C2 jet apron phase 3.
I'll make your motion, we approve this grant application for the jet apron design.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Okay, just like that, you guys have used your fiscal year 25 MPE funds. 1 month into the fiscal year. The last action item I have is board action to approve your fiscal year 25 through 2030 capital improvement plan for submission to FAA and NDOT. So since the last board meeting, Bill and John attended the CIP meeting in downtown Indianapolis with the FAA and NDOT to kind of talk about what's going on at the airport, some initiatives from the FAA, like making sure the base aircraft count is up to date, which Jerry has taken care of, and then to discuss the CIP. So the two highest priorities in the CIP you've already approved, which was the land reimbursement and the reimbursement for the apron. The other grant that we anticipate the airport taking in 2025 is the bill grant, also for the C2 jet apron. The bill allocations will be announced sometime in November. Once we have the actual bill account, the bill allocation amount, then we can do the grant application for that. The amount in the CIP is just a placeholder from what the allocation was last year. They can vary a little bit based on how airport classifications change in the NIPIAs. So that would get you an additional $151,000 towards the apron once we can submit that grant application, or approximately. So we didn't really make any changes to the CIP after the meeting, and it's what I presented last month in the draft. So just looking for board action to approve the fiscal year 25 through fiscal year 30 capital improvement plan for submission to FAA and NDOT.
Make a motion, we approve this CIP plan, the 5-year plan to the FAA and to NDOT. By the way, Bill and I had a good meeting there. It was all, we had people there from Chicago and Indianapolis. We had a good meeting.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved.
All right, and so as a reminder, for fiscal year 25 and 26, part of the FAA reauthorization increased the federal share to 95%, which lowered the state share to 2.5% and the local share to 2.5%. So for those 3 grants, where we're looking at over $300,000 coming towards the airport, the local share is only $8,000. So that's good news for you guys. That's really all I have. I included the fiscal year 24 quarter 4 grant performance reports in the email. There's no need to print them off, but as part of the audit, they're supposed to go to Amy and the board. You guys acknowledge that you got them, so you have it there in the agenda. That's all I have for tonight. If there aren't any questions.
Okay,
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Jerry.
Well, we've had 2 hangars changed tenants in the last month or so here. Consequently, I've only got 7 names left on the list of people wanting hangars. So, well, the one guy passed away earlier this year, and another guy sold his airplane, and so there's actually there's 1 or 2 people on the list that they have done something different since they got on the list, and they were no longer interested. But I have 1 or 2 people have called and asked to be added to the list also, so it's ongoing. Old Maris came back here a couple weeks ago and reworked some of the areas that got washed out because the grass didn't grow and stuff like that, and reseeded, and maybe with this rain it might start growing before it freezes, so we'll see how that all works out. So, but I did buy some gas, came a couple days ago, so the bill's floating around somewhere. It might be in your paperwork by now, anyhow. But
Bring your ag meter.
You said you want some?
100 low lead from Bad Fuel.
Okay.
There's some kind of confusion. We couldn't get our load that I asked for normally comes out of Louisville. And I've got a story that the river's too low because of the drought. The barge couldn't get to wherever it could unload the fuel down at Louisville. And so they ended up we shared a load with Bloomington and brought it out Illinois somewhere. So we didn't get the whole load that we wanted, but we got about half a load. So that'll last us quite a while, so we'll be fine. The river will get back up sometime, so that's all I got.
Okay.
Approval of the bills.
Good. Go ahead, Amy.
Yeah, good evening. Before we get to that, I wanted to just keep you updated on a couple of things. Jerry and I had a conversation, I think this last month, with the turnover of a couple of the hangars, that I'm gonna clarify on future invoices what month the hangar rental is going towards, because there's been a little bit of confusion. So we're gonna clarify that. So if you see that, those of you who have hangars, that's why. You have in front of you the most updated budget versus actual report. About 30 seconds after I sent the email, I realized at least one area that I could correct something that would help with the other services and charges line. So that is no longer an issue. And then everything else, there are ways that things will be shifted around toward the end of the year, which is not unusual. It's something that happens all the time. We do it every year as long as it's in the same series there. But just kind of wanted to keep everybody aware, trying to do a better job of translating that with you all as far as what is left in certain line items. Any questions about any of that? Okay. And then as far as I had sent an email out about the reimbursement for the $150,000 that came back for the AIP 23 for the land purchases. Unfortunately, all of them didn't come, again, just like the last reimbursement last year, they all didn't come out of the same fund. So to do our due diligence, we have to make sure they go into the correct fund to begin with. And then we can make decisions on how to pay back to Jackson County Bank once they are in those funds. So I don't think you have to do anything. I think I had mentioned in the email that I would ask you to approve the payment, but I got it on the payment approval report in time, so it is on there. Do you have any questions about the amount that is going to that? Because it's just, the 8818 was the Jackson County Bank, the 6603 is the airport improvement. And we have a line item that we can spend that amount out of the airport improvement, which is why that's where it's going to be paid out of. Okay.
Questions?
Okay.
Everybody had a chance to look at the bills?
Yes. And we got the updated, so on this unofficial spreadsheet I gave you, there's just a few bills. Since we got the update, there's a few things on it. There's a little more on REMC and Indiana Department of Revenue on there, but I'll put those on later. Basically, you go by the updated sheet here with the more.
Yeah, and due to the date of the meeting last month, we hadn't gotten the REMC bills, so that's why it's so large on this month's payment approval. It's last month's that we did pay on time, and it's this month's that we will be paying after this meeting.
I'll accept the motion to approve.
I'll make a motion, we approve the bills as listed here.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Would like to mention too, here it is, November. We sometimes let this get by, but January is when we can officially, according to Indiana code, sweep some money out of the road refuel account into other accounts. So we'll get with Jerry and figure out the proper amount to do. We gotta leave enough money in the road fuel account, but there's just one month of the year we're allowed to make that sweep, so we'll get with you on that. Okay.
Okay. And this set of bills,
Yeah, that's the payroll there.
Yeah.
It's Jerry's on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
accept the motion to approve.
Of the payroll. Right. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the payroll bills. This is
Second.
Jerry's. Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any from the audience? Oh, Jerry, have you heard anything from Humphrey about,
I texted him a couple days ago, reminding him about the meeting, and he texted back today. He appreciated me reminding him that he couldn't make it tonight.
okay,
I think he might still be interested in doing something, but he's a pretty busy guy.
okay. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.